Hello, everyone. My name is Eileen, and today we are going to go over how to create and manage owner billing within RedTeam Go. Okay. Alrighty, so to create owner billing, first off, you're going to want to make sure that you are within your project that you are creating your owner billing for. A couple of ways to navigate to your projects are going right over here to the projects menu. You can search here, or if you have your project favorited, you do have the ability to come here and select your favorited project, or even look through your recent projects. Alrighty, so to begin owner billing, you're going to navigate right over here to billing. I would like to point out, if your project is in progress, as it should be, to create owner billing within RedTeam Go, you notice that the billing menu is grayed out and you are unable to click into it, the first place I want you to go to is over here to your commitments, then to your budget. And I want you to make sure that your budget is locked. Not until you have a locked budget will you be able to move forward with owner billing. Okay. And if your budget was unlocked, you would have your lock button up here. Okay. So we're going to navigate on over to billing. And from here, you do have an option for owner A and owner B because you can create billing for two separate owners. But in the case of our webinar, we're just going to move forward with owner A. All right. Okay, now once here, the first step of owner billing is to create your schedule of values for your owner. Okay, so we have a couple of options over here. The first step is you're going to want to select your application. This is your type of owner billing. Okay, now if you do have an AIA subscription, you will have the option to select from different AIA pay apps. And if you have a consensus doc subscription, you'll have the ability to select consensus stock here. Okay. Now, in the case of our webinar, we're only going to go over the generic owner bill and the cost plus owner bill. Okay. So there are a couple of differences between both. I'm going to show those to you. So first off, for our first owner billing, we're going to move forward with a generic owner bill. Okay. The next step of creating your owner billing is then to select your SOV. Okay, so there are a few different options you can see here. Okay, let me zoom in so everyone can see my screen a little better. Okay, how's that for everyone? All right. Okay, so we've selected our type of owner bill, then we're going to select our SOV. So from here, you can select by division. Selecting by division is going to replicate the expanded division report that you created back in the bidding phase of your project. Okay, so that's going to allow you to expand by division on your schedule of values. Right now, by division with separate profit line, that's going to replicate the expanded division report with profit line from the bidding phase. Okay, so you'll have all of your divisions written out, but your profit won't be worked into each division. You'll have a separate profit line. Okay. Your next option is by cost code, and this is just going to show all of your cost codes in your projects with the markups. Okay. Now, if you select create your SOV by cost code with separate profit line, just like with division with separate profit line, same thing. You'll have all of your cost codes, and then at the very bottom, your profit line. Okay. Now, your next selection is by cost code with itemized markups. Okay, so this is going to have your by cost code and with your itemized markups for each cost code. Right. Then you have these two separate items right here. And just to explain the by cost code with itemized markups a little more, it's going to be by cost code with sales tax, labor burden, any general liability, overhead profit, and permit listed at the bottom of the schedule to bill against. So we can also go through that. We can select this and I'll show you what that looks like. Now, custom by cost item. Okay, this is a very custom way of building your SOV, okay, you can use this template to create the custom line descriptions and decide which cost codes will go into each description. So again, I can show you what that looks like. Okay, and then here, this is a custom unrestricted. Okay, so custom unrestricted allows you to create custom line items. And unfortunately with this, it's great. It's very custom. It allows you to create custom line items with their amounts. It does not integrate with sub billing. So all of the ones from above, the great thing with these is that if you select one of these, it will integrate with your sub billing, which I'll show you. Meaning if a sub has submitted a bill to you, when we create our owner billing, it will show that we have, XYZ from our subcontractor so that we can apply it to our owner bill. Does that make sense to everyone? And I will show that to you so we can also go through that as an example. So before I move forward, does anyone have any questions? Okay. Alrighty.
There's nothing so far in the chat.
Okay, great. All right, so I'm going to move forward with by division. Okay, and then I'm going to select create. Okay, so if you remember back in the bidding phase, when we're creating our expanded division report, all of our divisions are separated this way. If we want to proceed with moving forward with showing our schedule of values just by division, we can do that. But if for a particular division, we want to expand that, all we'll need to do is click onto it. And now we can create our schedule of values with the carpentry division expanded. Right. So once you've done this, and you've decided exactly how you want your SOV to look, you're just going to lock your SOV. And then you'll be able to move forward with your billing. Okay. Right. Now, does anyone have any questions before we move forward? Okay. Alrighty. So this is our pay application 1. You can see that here. All of this is pre-filled out, but you can go through here and you can change your application date. You can change your start date, your end date. Here's where you have your work retainage and your material retainage. This is pulling over from the very beginning of your project, the information that you've entered in when you were in the bidding phase. You do have the ability to change it if you need to for any reason. Okay. Here are your check boxes where you're going to select who you are distributing this to. And then I want to show right here, you have this payment by purchase order. Just to explain what this is let's say you receive a payment for this project outside of the owner. An example could be, let's say this is a project for a church renovation and the congregation raises money for this rather than the owner paying an amount. If the congregation wants to donate that amount, that's where you can use that payment by purchase order for. Okay. Just want to be clear, does that make sense to everyone what payment by purchase order would be? If you have any questions, just please feel free to ask. Okay. So now once you've filled out the top area, you'll come down and I want to show right here your WIP. So when I mentioned that the owner billing would integrate with sub billing, and it also integrates with other items within RedTeam. So when you're entering expenses, when you're entering timesheets, so anything that will go in as labor, so a .L cost code, or anything that you enter into RedTeam as a purchase for material, equipment, or so on, it will show up in your WIP, but only once it's been submitted and approved within RedTeam. Okay, so it automatically applies that. If you click into that, it'll show you what that $300 consists of. So you can see 150 came from an expense that was entered, 50 came in from an expense, and then right over here, 100 came in from a purchase order that was entered. Okay. If you need to make an adjustment, you can go right here and adjust it. I'm just going to X out. Okay, so you can see it automatically applies that. Right. So now right over here, this is where you'll be able to enter the amount that you want to bill for a certain item. So let's say for site work, I want to bill, I have the option to either bill here in my WIP, or I can do a percentage. So if for masonry, I want to say we're 50% complete with masonry, I can enter a percentage here. However, if for my work in progress, if I want to enter a dollar amount here, I can go right there and enter a dollar amount. Okay. And then this line, this column right here, this is where you're going to bill for any stored materials. Okay. If I want to bill for stored materials, I can enter a value right there. And that actually went in at 50%. So let's do 10%. There you go. Okay. I'm sorry, $10. Okay, so this is your WIP. This is what you're currently billing. This is your stored materials. And then here's where you can select by percentage. Right. I want to scroll on down and show you right over here for doors and windows. We do have a value autofilled. So if we click into that, again, we have some purchase orders that were entered. If we, yeah, there we go. Okay, so does anyone have any questions about filling out your owner billing?
Nope. Nothing in the chat so far, I think.
Okay, great. Okay, so once you're done here, you can come right over to your actions. I want to show if you have a change order that you want to enter into your owner billing. This is where you're going to add that change order. If you have a phase that you want to add that you've previously entered, you can add a phase here. And then right here is where you're going to be able to add any attachments. So I'm going to add a change order. I want to show you what a change order looks like for a generic owner bill. Okay, so you can see I have two change orders. I'm going to select this one, select add change order. Okay, so you can see the change order has been added down here at the bottom. Okay, it has its own row. And same thing, if I want to bill a percentage, I can. Okay. Or I can bill a flat amount. And from here, I can bill for stored materials. Okay. Now, once you're done with this, you do have the ability to print it. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. You can print just the generic owner bill, and you also have the ability to print the generic owner bill with the lien release. So let's go ahead with the lien release, and I'll show you what that looks like. So this is what our generic owner bill looks like. Okay, we have our contractor's payment request up here with our total amount, our retainage, and then here's our SOV. Previous pay apps will show here as we move forward. Here's our work in place, any stored material. And then this is the total complete and stored to date. So that this is columns D, E, and F. And then down here is where we have the waiver and release of lien. Right. So once you're ready to send that and sign it, you can come down to actions and select sign. Okay, I'm not going to do that for this because I want to show you what another pay app looks like. So I'm just going to select the bill list. That'll bring me back. And then from here with our ellipse icon, I'm going to select that and delete it. I do want to show you that you have the ability also to select the ellipse icon and from here send an email out to the owner with the pay app. Okay. Now that I've deleted it, I want to unlock my SOV. And then we can go through the process of changing it. Alrighty. So before we move forward, does anyone have any questions? Does anyone have any requests? Are there any particular type of pay apps or SOVs you'd like me to take a look at? Alrighty, so we're going to move forward. I'm going to select cost plus owner bill. We're going to create our SOV. And just to do it a little different, we're going to go by cost code. Select create. Alrighty. Okay, so now we have all of our cost codes here. I'd like to show you, you do have the ability to drag and drop. You can move things around, put them in any particular order. Okay. Once you're ready, you're just going to select lock SOV. Okay, and now we're looking at a cost plus owner bill. All right, so everything up top, it's the same. You have your application date, start date, end date, retainage, who you're going to distribute it to, and your payment by purchase order. The main difference here is as I start entering my change orders, you can see here we have a changes column. Okay, so if I add a change order, and let's say the change order is for final cleanup, it's going to lump that amount right here into final cleanup, but put it in its own changes column. And I'll show you what I mean because we are going to add a change order. Okay. Right, so I'm going to select add change order, select my change order, and add that here. Okay. Alrighty. So here we go. Here's our change order. Shows our cost code. It doesn't have it at the bottom as its own, but it leaves it here within all the other cost codes and puts it amount within the changes column. Okay. Now here I want to show we have our owner paid and to pay. So you can see here it's already filled out because we have those expenses that I've entered in here. Okay. And if you want to go through, you can come and start entering the amount. So you can put in a dollar amount, you can put your stored material value in here, or you can put in the percentage right there. Okay. So we can go through and we can start entering our amounts within the billing. Okay, now owner paid, I do want to show here. This is where you're going to enter any amount that the owner has paid directly to a vendor for materials. Okay, so that's what the owner paid column is. The to pay column here is what you are billing the owner for this payout. Okay, so let's say for dust protection or here, let's say rough carpentry, the owner paid directly to the vendor a certain amount, we can put that amount in there. Okay. Just to show you what it did over here. So it shows that the contracted value was for 26,625.38. I put in $1,000 that the owner paid directly to the vendor. So it's changed its balance. Okay. And now I can go forward with billing the client myself here if I'd like for this line item. Okay. Okay, so any questions on what the owner paid is versus to pay? Okay, so same thing
this time.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ted. So same thing. Once you're done, you'll go through your actions. You can sign this. You can add any attachments. Here's where you'll be able to print it into a PDF, but we're just going to go back. Okay, and I'm going to show you another type of owner billing. So we're going to unlock our SOV. Excuse me. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead with a generic owner bill, and we are going to move forward with custom by cost item. Okay. Alrighty. So here, this is how it's going to work. You have your area where you're going to enter your description. Okay. Oops. Okay. You can go through entering all of your descriptions. I'm just going to make this very, very, very simple. Okay. Now, once you're done, you're going to select the ellipse icon for each description, and you're going to begin assigning your cost codes. So now you can go through and start assigning your cost codes. So you have the option here. You can assign you can assign it with profit, or you can assign the amount without profit. Okay. That's your choice. All right. I'm going to add this with profit. And I'm just going to go through this very quickly just to show you what it looks like. And I'm selecting add all, but you have the ability to go through and select one cost code at a time if you'd like. And you can go back and forth with selecting the amount with and without profit. Okay. So I've added all of that to my labor. Then you can go through, continue. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to add some of them without the profit so we can show you what that looks like. There you go. So as we've been doing this, RedTeam has been deducting from our balance to distribute. So it gave us a contracted amount, and it was, you know what, let's go through this and I will show that to you there. Okay, so we've already distributed this value through these two descriptions. Okay. Or I'm sorry, we've distributed this value and we have this value left. Okay, so we can add another line item and distribute the rest of it. Okay. So now once you're done, you'll select lock your SOV. Okay. And that's how you would do that type of owner billing. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? We have one more option to go through.
Nothing right now.
Okay. Thank you, Ted. Okay. Ready? So we're going to go generic owner bill. And now we're going to do custom unrestricted. Now with custom unrestricted, any of your material items that any expenses, any purchase orders, any sub billing will not show up on custom unrestricted SOV type pay apps. Okay, so if you select this option, you won't be able to auto apply any sub billing or expenses and purchase orders. Okay. Alrighty. So now we'll go through. You're able to give it a custom description. This is great if you have, a client an owner who gives you their own SOV that they want you to adhere by. This is a really good option for them. Okay. So once you've added your descriptions, I want to show you when you come over here and you select that ellipse icon, you don't have the ability to add cost codes and assign cost codes the way that we did for the other option. With this option, you can put in any value that you want, but RedTeam is still keeping track and letting you know what your balance is left at. So you can't accidentally create an SOV that is of a higher value or a lower value of your original contract. Okay, so I've put in a value here and you can see it's deducted it and it's letting me know this is my value to distribute now. Okay. So any questions about that? If not, I'm going to lock my SOV and we'll move forward. Okay, so you can see here in the WIP column, we don't have, like I said, we don't have any of the areas where it's auto-filling for us and auto-populating any of our purchase orders or expenses. Okay, so we would have to go through here and fill it out. Okay, so we have our work in progress, we have our stored materials, and again, we have our area where we can bill by percentage. Okay, so I'm going to bill for stored materials and a percentage completion for labor over here. Righty, so now once I'm done, let's add my change order so we can have it in there. Okay, and I'm just going to bill a 10% to begin. Righty. So once I'm done, I'm going to sign this. I'm going to say that here's my digital signature. Okay. Now it's going to notify my accountant, letting them know that I have, this bill has been signed so that it can now be notarized. Okay. So does anyone have any questions on everything that we've gone over? I have a couple more things to show you. Nope. Okay. Alrighty. So now your accountant, I want to show that with owner billing, you do have a report that you can run. It's right over here in reports. Okay. So you'll come over to reports and then you have right here owner billing. Okay. This is just going to, run a report for you for your owner billing. Okay. It's going to give you the pay app date, your contract value, your billed amount, what percentage you're currently at that you've billed, and what your balance is. And it's also going to let you know if the owner has approved it yet. All right. Now your accountant, they can come right over here into accounting and then notary and approvals. And this is where they're going to be able to see the pending notarization that we've just sent out to them. Okay. So your accountant will come here again. The way that I navigated here, everyone, is I selected accounting. Once we're in accounting, here under billing, we're going to go to notary and approvals. So we can select view and notarize. You can see here, I signed it as the project manager. Okay, and now accounting can go through, they can edit it, they can unsign it, they can respond, and this is where they can approve it. Okay. This is where they'll be able to send this out to the owner. So I'm going to approve this and I can send out this pay app now to the owner. Okay, whoops, sorry about that, everyone. Let's do that again. Okay. So here's my email. It's auto-filled out my subject. I can change that if I need to. Okay. Here's my email body to the client, to the owner. Okay. Again, I can go through and add any messages that I'd like here and change that. Oops. Okay, and then once I'm ready, I'm just going to select I agree, and it's going to send this pay app out to the owner now. Thank you everyone for joining us for our webinar today with RedTeam Go. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. Have a great day.